Shalom family, this is Yavo, and I'm going to rant a little bit, and I try to come across as being positive, at least balanced in the things that I say, but I do have an observation, and it has to do with your faith as an individual. I think that you should be able to at least tell people where your faith comes from, at least be able to have, a handful of scriptures and proof of why you believe what you believe. I think even though we're in the age of social media, YouTube, I think pointing someone to a YouTube video, well, this is what I believe, when you're in a conversation, and saying, go research this and go listen to this other person, I think that is unacceptable and kind of weak, to be honest. I think you should be able to state why you believe what you believe. And so there's a certain video I just put out, and there's certain people that are not very happy with me, and I'm okay with that. And I don't think this video is going to get very many likes, but I'm okay with that too. I think this needs to be said. Learn something about why you believe what you believe. Because if you don't, then what you have is hearsay belief. You believe because, well, the first person who got to me taught me this, so I guess that's what I believe. And that's not how it should be. Another thing, if you don't believe the word of Yah, and you can't look at the book and hear his voice from beginning to end, and that includes the Apocrypha, I think you need to reevaluate. Because the word says, my sheep hear my voice. So therefore, you should be able to hear his voice in the midst of the word that he left on earth for you. We have these arguments that, well, this is a white man's religion. Yeah, Christianity is. But they use our book and twisted our book for our deception. So yes, there are mistranslations, and you have the King James Version and Hallelujah Scriptures, and you have all these different things, and they're all, Sefer even, they're all corrupted. But the word itself said that man would corrupt the word. But the Most High is so intelligent that he was able to signify to us in the word what we needed to know, and teach us from the truth that's left in there how to decipher and recognize the lies, right? And so if you're truly walking in the spirit of Yah, then you should have this kind of balance, right? Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Search through the scriptures, understand, and if you can, go to the original language. And I can almost guarantee you that because some of that passed through Gentile hands, there's going to be some corruption there too. But at least you're getting closer, right? And so I'm going to end with this. I'm going to double down on telling the truth as the Most High gives it to me to tell you, right? So the two things that are mostly on my mind right now, because it's everywhere, right? The Ruach, or the Ruach, the Spirit of the Most High, is not female. The Most High is not trans. What would you say, or what do you say when you see a guy and his spirit is feminine? There's a problem there. It's an abomination, right? So that's one thing, and I put out my study on that. You can listen to the whole study, and then what I would advise that you do is look into it. I don't know everything. I'm interpreting what the Most High puts in my spirit to the best of my ability, right? The other thing that is running rampant through social media in our spaces is that, I guess this is not a short rant, is that America is the promised land. And that is the most foolish thing that I have heard, because I've read the word. I read the word from cover to cover. And when I get to the cover, I start again. And I don't get it right the first time I go through. Then I go through again and I see things that I didn't see before. And then the word begins to explain itself, right? And it talks about Babylon. And some will say that Babylon is in Iran. This is not Babylon. This is the daughter of Babylon, right? When you trace the lineage of the Edomites and Esau, Chittim and that defiled bloodline, it leads here. This is where we were dispersed to. The Mississippi is not the Nile River. If you look at what the word says about the Nile River, and then you compare it with the Mississippi, and I've done the scientific comparisons, I've done a lot of research to back this up. It's not. It's just not. And yes, there are mounds and artifacts and things like that, even pyramids, possibly a sphinx in the middle of the Grand Canyon, but without going too deep into that, we have to realize that there was a world that was ruled by Nephilim and fallen angels before the flood. Before the flood. And so they built their structures before the flood. The mud flood and Tartarian, type theories, it just proves that the word is right, right? And so because we see these things, it doesn't mean that the word is less true, and it doesn't mean that this is Egypt, Babylon, and all those other things. I have a lot of other proof on that. But the problem is when you don't first trust the word, and then because it's written by man or it's written by white men, and then you turn around and then trust the words of other white men, the science of other white men. How does that work? You believe in how they date stuff? You don't think they date stuff to fit into a certain narrative? You don't think that the Book of Mormon, which is Gentile generated, is something that's going to deceive you? You trust that and whatever every man says, other than, and you don't trust the word of the Most High? You need to reevaluate. I have so many words in my mind right now. I have been doing so much study right now. And I'm digging into the lies that are deceiving us and I'm doing root cause analysis. But I've talked enough. I got to take Gracie back home. We just left the dog park. Shalom, family. Think about what I've said. Look into the word for yourself. Have a good day.